Our last country session before the lunch break is Switzerland. The country is known global hub for financial services. The panel presents what are the current trends and opportunities in the country for financial innovators. Speakers are Julien Thöni from Consul General of Switzerland and Sirpa Tsimel from Switzerland Global Enterprise.
Very good. Hello. Very good, and thank you very much for inviting me to the Istanbul Fintech Week. I'm very glad also that Switzerland and SG, as well as the Consulate General of Switzerland in Istanbul, can take part. My short intervention will be on 2 points, mainly our bilateral relations between Switzerland and Turkey, and then also some points about innovation, Swiss innovation, generally speaking. I would say that also now we are living through this pandemic for a few months. The situation in Turkey in the context of the COVID-19 has evolved during the last months. We have seen that the government has taken preventive measures coupled with a functioning business. That means that the business is functioning, even though tourism has been badly affected by the crisis. In this situation, we have many challenges for both the Swiss citizens, but also for the Swiss enterprises, which have to adapt to the situation, and they do it with much strength and with some success also. In this context also, the Consulate General, as well as the Embassy of Switzerland in Ankara, they do what they can do for helping the Swiss citizens, but also the Swiss business in Turkey. We continue to do to deliver visas. We continue to help our citizens, and as it was the case also in April, we helped our stranded tourists to go back to Switzerland. In this context, I think this is also important to remind about the larger economic framework that we have between Switzerland and Turkey. We have a lot of agreements which are regulating our economic ties, but most importantly, it is important to underline that we will have very soon a new free trade agreement with Turkey, provided that Turkey can sign quite quickly, expected maybe by the end of the year, this new free trade agreement. Also, we'll have a new automatic exchange of information on fiscal accounts between Turkey and Switzerland, and this agreement will take effect or come into force by 2021, and the first exchange of information will take place in 2022. Of course, in this very specific situation where we live through a pandemic, I mentioned that some sectors have been badly impacted, like tourism, but at the same time, we see that the digitalization is going forward, and this is clear that countries which have value added in this sector, like Switzerland, will be probably well positioned to increase the bilateral economic trade relations and the relation with Turkey. I would like to mention a few data about our bilateral economic relations, especially the trade one, to show you how much we have invested and how close we are, Switzerland and Turkey, in terms of trade and investment. Just to mention about first the volume of trade, we have around 4.4 billion US dollars of trade every year. That was the last data from 2019. We export Switzerland around 3.40 billion dollars of merchandise to Turkey, and we import almost $1 billion from Turkey to Switzerland. In terms of investment, Switzerland is one of the 10th largest investors in Turkey. We have a volume of investment of around $4.5 billion in Turkey. The very good thing is that Swiss economic operators continue to be interested in the Turkish market and continue to invest in the country. I would like to quote a few names. We have Firmenich, which is a very large fragrance and flavor company, which bought a Turkish fragrance company recently. We have Nestlé, which has invested recently also 30 million in medical nutrition in Bursa, which is the first ever medical nutrition plant in Turkey. We have also a private bank, which recently opened an office in Istanbul. We have also Sirpa, which is a large IT solution and blockchain company, which has decided to invest more in Turkey recently, and also Imperial Logistic, which is a logistic company, which also decided to invest more. On the other side, also, we have seen investment from Turkey to Switzerland, showing that Switzerland is a very attractive place for investing from abroad. And I want just to name one very big Turkish company. This is Abdi Ibrahim, which decided in the area of pharmaceutical industry to buy more than a quarter of a Swiss company, which is called OM Pharma. Switzerland is also quite strong, I would say, in the innovation sector. We have been rated among the most innovative country for the last 10 years, and we have always ranked during those last 10 years #1 in the Global Innovation Index. So why is that? In a very summarized form, I would like to say that Switzerland is a nation of inventors. Many new inventions are made in Switzerland. We have also world-class research institutes and universities. Our multinational companies, which have their headquarters in Switzerland, always decide to invest largely in Switzerland. Also, we have projects in green area, in green innovation, and this is a trend which is still very strong in Switzerland. And our country is open to international talents, where we can also in Switzerland find highly skilled workforces. So generally speaking, I can say that Switzerland exceeds expectation when it comes to transforming investment into innovation and innovative high-quality output. Switzerland also distinguishes itself through the innovative spirit of the business sectors, with a very large share of knowledge-intensive employment and a very high level of R&D expenditure financed by the private sector. Just to say also quote a few numbers. R&D expenditures in Switzerland are very high. Chemical and pharmaceutical industry make the most of R&D in Switzerland. It's about 40%. And then come the other sectors of the Swiss industry, like metal and mechanical engineering, quite high also, almost 15%. And also ICT and high-tech instruments are making very large efforts in R&D expenditures. And those expenditures are made in many different areas. It goes from health and life science to mobility and transportation, to energy, and of course to Fintech and blockchain, the two topics which interest us today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. So my name is Sirpa Tsimel. I'm with Switzerland Global Enterprise. I'm the director for investment promotion. So Switzerland Global Enterprise, we are funded by the Swiss government, and our mandate is to help Swiss SMEs to expand and grow abroad, and also to attract and help foreign companies that are interested in Switzerland to establish an operation here. I will talk a little bit about the Crypto Valley story and Switzerland as an innovation place in general. So why Switzerland? I will tell you the story about the Crypto Valley as an example of how Switzerland ticks. So the Crypto Valley started in a small town in Switzerland. That's the birthplace of the Crypto Valley. As you can see, it's a picturesque little town in Switzerland. About 20,000 people live there. And that's also the birthplace of the Crypto Valley. So it's not New York and it's not Silicon Valley and it's also not Istanbul. It's a small town in Switzerland. So how did the story begin? Two foreign entrepreneurs, they came to Switzerland in 2014-15. That's when cryptocurrencies or a blockchain as a technology hasn't really been known yet. So those two entrepreneurs were Vitalik Buterin and Niklas Nicholson. Vitalik Buterin, he's the co-founder of Ethereum, now a big player in a crypto space, and Niklas Nicholson is the founder of Bitcoin Swiss. So Vitalik, a Russian-Canadian cryptocurrency researcher and programmer, he was looking for a location where he could experiment with blockchain and his venture. He looked at several different jurisdictions from Singapore to UK, Germany, the Netherlands, and a few others. Switzerland was very appealing to him. It was not only a established financial center, as everyone knows, but the Swiss authorities were also very open to talk with him about how he can, in a legally secure environment, work on his new and experiment with his new venture. So that's the start of the Crypto Valley. Also Niklas Nicholson, he's originally from Norway. He had similar reasons why he wanted to come to, or why he picked Switzerland as a place to start his ventures. So the regulatory environment or the authorities in Switzerland and in Zug in particular are very open to talk to them and see how they can, in a secure environment, experiment on their ventures. And the rest is history. So out of those, a couple of crypto pioneers started the Crypto Valley. Now there are over 800 companies in the Crypto Valley, and it's no longer just Zug. It really expanded to other parts of Switzerland, in Lucerne, in Geneva, Neuchâtel, Zurich, of course. There are many crypto blockchain and other related companies and service providers. And yeah, to summarize that, so Switzerland, I think that's how the decentralization is a mindset that's deeply embedded in Switzerland. So it's basically mirroring what blockchain is. And I believe that's why blockchain as a concept is seen more as an opportunity in Switzerland and not like other countries that try to heavily regulate it. Switzerland is taking also a very pragmatic approach and has a tech neutral approach in that, and not trying to over-regulate new and emerging technologies like blockchain, but also AI, which of course is helpful for companies. Yeah, and Zug also, that was one of the first cities that began to accept digital currencies like Bitcoin as a payment for city fees. And in July 2016, the city of the city of Zug set another record. It was the first municipality in the world to start accepting Bitcoin as a payment for local taxes. On a fintech side, Switzerland, so FINMA is the Swiss regulatory authority. They introduced the sandbox for fintech companies. That's another showcase of Switzerland's innovative regulatory environment. It was the introduction of a license-free innovation area, so hence the sandbox. And the fintech startup may test new business models with it. Of the total value of deposits accepted for the public does not exceed 1 million Swiss francs. And activities within the sandbox will not be subject to authorization or supervision by FINMA, but the fintech must disclose that is acting within that sandbox. So that's one mechanism that the Swiss regulators came up with. They also introduced the Fintech license in January 2019, which allows acceptance of assets up to 100 million in fiat and cryptocurrencies. And then the latest news there is in August 2019, there were 2 banking licenses given to 2 fully crypto banks in Switzerland, that's Sygnum and Seba. So Switzerland doesn't stop for new innovations and new emerging tech. So what's next in blockchain? So that was the Crypto Valley story, how it all began, but Switzerland has much more to offer. We see it in blockchain. There are many more applications now, so it's not only in a finance and the cryptocurrency space, but blockchain as a technology is evolving further. So there are many other projects, for example, Novartis, Vasher and Constantine, that's a luxury watch maker, is using blockchain or experimenting with blockchain, and also Nestle. So those are just other examples of large multinationals in Switzerland that are working with blockchain now and using the whole ecosystem that has been built up during the whole Crypto Valley time, and now using that know-how that has been established here, how to use blockchain in other applications. Then I also want to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, both very new tech topics, blockchain and artificial intelligence, and also both are very much embedded here in Switzerland. So Switzerland is known or is home to world-renowned AI research groups, for example, ITIA, IDIAP, or EPFL, ETH. Those are some of the major research institutes that we have here. Switzerland is very well known for quality, not only in their products, but also in software and algorithms that are being developed here. So Switzerland sets a very high standard. And also collaboration between academia and business goes very pragmatically, and it's a productive tech transfer. And that's why a lot of larger companies like Google, IBM, Microsoft, and others run their AI research here from Switzerland. One example from the finance industry is UBS, the largest bank, one of the largest banks in Switzerland. They opened up the AI Intelligence, Analytics and Innovation Center in Ticino. That's where ITSIA is, one of the top AI institutes, where they have researchers working on different kind of AI applications. So why Switzerland? If you're a Turkish fintech company or any other technology-related company, so why should you think of Switzerland as a location to open up an office or R&D center, for example? So I give you 3 reasons why you should scale up in Switzerland. The first one, and I think the story about the Crypto Valley really showcases it, why Switzerland is a great place to do that. So the first one would be it's a great place to test and validate your products. So you find an interdisciplinary research location, not only blockchain, not only AI or the tech application, but it's really an interdisciplinary research location with very close collaborations between companies, startups, multinationals, and also the different research institutes. You have a high density of multinationals here, as the ambassador said before. So those multinationals are potential partners for you for new applications. And it's a great place to develop, test, and validate your products and services in Switzerland, but for the whole European market. Then, yeah, it's a great playground for emerging tech. So there's artificial intelligence, personalized health, digital health. Switzerland has a strong tradition in life sciences, and now with the new era of digitalization of healthcare, we are front runner there as well. Blockchain, of course, not only in finance industry, but also expanding to other industries, robotics and drones, and also advanced manufacturing. So those are the main key tech themes that Switzerland is strong in. And then, of course, the Swiss quality and also resilience, that's especially important in times like we are at the moment. So in Switzerland, you find the high quality software algorithms. You have the business-minded government authorities, as I mentioned before. So they're really open to work with you and finding the legal certainty that you need to be able to move your venture to the next level. So you find that here, they're really open-minded. And it's also ranked one of the most resilient economies. That's especially important now. So you have the long-term view here, and you get the legal certainty to build new ventures and experiment. So those are the three main reasons why to think of Switzerland. Yeah, and if you're in your everyday life, if you drink a cup of coffee from Starbucks, you probably don't realize that how many products and services have a little bit of Switzerland in it. So those are three examples. So next time you go to a Starbucks and drink a cup of coffee, those coffee machines are Swiss made. Frozen, or if you have kids and watch any Disney movies. So every time it snows in a Disney movie, that's a Disney invention from ETH, their research lab they have here. Disney Pixar is working with ETH and Zurich together. So that's a little bit of Switzerland here. And also every time you ask Siri a question, the long short-term memory, that's tech innovation from the ITSIA, the research institute that I mentioned before, where also UBS is working on. So Switzerland is in many products and services, a little bit of Swiss innovation you can find. So thank you for your time. And here I also want to quickly mention the contact details. So if you are looking to evaluate Switzerland, or if you're expanding to Europe and want to know more about Switzerland as a business location, as a tech location, please get in touch with us, either with Mehmet, my colleague in Turkey, in Istanbul, or with myself. I'm located in Zurich, Switzerland. Thank you.
This is it for the first half of the Payment Summit. Let's go on a lunch break and meet again at 2 p.m. Istanbul time for the rest of the session today.